none of us knew what the next movie was going to be. And they did have a few things they wanted to maybe expand the scope a little bit, and were willing to think about going into Europe and making it a little bit. They wanted to bring Moriarty in really introduce him as the nemesis, as the villain. So we had some
building blocks.
We had some building blocks, and so we went away and sort of broke a story, brought it back.
Had a nervous breakdown. Breaking the story. Came back.
And then we got to work with Lionel and Susan and Robert, and sort of took that original idea of ours, turned it in some aspects into the thing that really is what we have now. It's actually
amazing.
It happened pretty quickly.
Yeah. They very strongly felt like the way the first movie ended, Irene could either go off and do her own thing, or she could still be a part of Sherlock's life.
And the audience loved Rachel's character, so it was there was a big argument to be made for keeping her in. We didn't want to, because we wanted to introduce a new element and somebody who could really sort of work with the Holmes and Watson
as a sidekick.
Somebody who could really sort of get in, not a nemesis or even an old love or old flame or something, but somebody who could be new and change their dynamic.
That, it's kind of like Bond, he needs a new woman every time. I mean, really, they'd done it so well, it sort of felt like, what's left to do with Irene? So let's make sure that we're not just repeating ourselves or doing anything again, and so we felt there was new stuff you could do with Sims that you couldn't do with Irene.
And what we really wanted to do was to get deeper into the Holmes and Watson friendship, the long-term, their relationship.
You do seem
excited.
Manic.
I am.
Verging on
ecstatic.
Psychotic.
For us, I think some of our favourite things about the end result of this movie is some of the quiet moments between Holmes and Watson, in the scene where Watson believes that Holmes is dead on the train after the big sequence at the arms factory, and there's that moment where you see that, my God, I may have lost this man, and you see that emotion. I mean, to us,
the Holmes walking away from the wedding, which we're just sort of letting him giving up, or or taking that
letting
moment,
go of
letting
Watson.
go.
Those were important moments to explore, and they wanted to really get to that next level of kind of exploring we had some of the funnest discussions when we were all trying to sort of get our head around Moriarty at the beginning of how much to use. You don't want to overuse him, you don't want to do too much. But again...
Is it 7 scenes? Is it 5 scenes?
Yeah, no, really, it was a lot of negotiating.
Sort of
how much Moriarty can we really take? And I think in the end, the decision was that it's as much the sport of what he's doing and how he's pulling it off that he gets off on, and the money, but it's really just the complexity of that plot and what he pulls together and the amount of people that are involved to make his plan happen. We love Mycroft Holmes. Mycroft is from the books, not a lot of him in the books, but the fun part of him, and you get little tastes of this with Stephen Fry's insane performance in this movie, is that Mycroft is kind of thinks he's a little bit better than everybody else, and there's this little bit of a intellectual rivalry between the brothers about who's smarter and who's more important, and
in the books he's misanthropic and agoraphobic, and he doesn't like the
he's
germs
a weirdo,
and people, and but he's also, this is from the books, he actually is the head of the Foreign Service, and he's this really important government guy, and a very strange, wonderful character in the original drawings, the illustrated stories. He actually looks like Stephen Fry. It's the perfect casting.
He's nothing like as slow-witted as you've been leading me to believe, Shirley.
We think it's really, really good to sort of pass the torch because so much of the team is staying intact. I think they think also it's really good to have fresh blood. It was good for us to come in and be fresh blood on the second movie. That we know the guy who's doing the third one's going to do an amazing job, and I think it's good to have some fresh eyes as part of a team that's very established.